everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching that earwax removal compilation video today. This first patient here, you can see that not a tremendous amount of wax in here, but what's happened is the wax is actually gone right down on top of the eardrum, which is going to cause a few issues as far as day-to-day hearing is concerned. You can see it's got a very slight depression in the center. So how has it got this deep in the ear canal? It's with a Q-tip. It's been pushed right down in there, almost smack on top of the eardrum. So a patient experiencing a lot of hearing issues, some discomfort as well, especially if they get any water in their ears. It's really, really painful, which is quite a common thing when we look at earwax impaction. So we're just going to get a good grip on this. You can see, luckily, it came away really easily. Now, the difficulty we have when wax has been impacted like this against the eardrum is it's not always that easy to get out because the surface is sort of quite concave, so you can't get a good grip on it. It's difficult to peel from the edges. It's in the most sensitive parts of the ear and it's pushed right up against the eardrum. Luckily for this one, it came away really, really nicely. We can see the eardrum there. So this is what it looked like to start with. You can see no eardrum at all. And this is what it looks like afterwards, looking lovely and healthy. So you can see very dark in color, this one actually. This is quite oxidized. So it's 3/16 of an inch, just under half a centimeter as well. Patient very, very relieved to get that out of their ears. It was really causing quite a few issues with this patient. While I've got you here, guys, don't forget it's episode 600 on Thursday. We have a humongous earwax removal compilation for you. I think we're over an hour as far as I can remember. I think it's about an hour and 5 minutes thereabouts. So a lot of talking for me to do for Thursday's video. Make sure you stay tuned for that one because it's going to be a big one to do. I think we have a mastoid clearance in there. I think that's about 25 minutes long. There's another really interesting one as well in there that I won't spoil for you, but that's a really good one as well. So make sure you stay tuned on Thursday for that one, guys, 9 p.m. UK time. So we've just got this a big chunk of wax here. Now we can see with this particular ear canal, there's a lot of quite dry wax in here. Now this wax is a funny one. It has this kind of texture. I'm trying to think of the best way of describing the kind of texture, but if you've ever used something called kinetic sand, it's this kind of sand that kind of binds and sticks together, but then you can crumble it. It's that kind of consistency. It almost forms, when it's impacted together and pushed together like this is, it forms a kind of solid block. When you start teasing it apart, it just crumbles away though. So it's coming away really, really nicely. We've got the Jobson horn in here and just drawing this down. Now as this comes away, one thing you'll notice, you don't really see it from your perspective, it's because you're kind of right on the camera there, but when we take wax chunks out like this, what we tend to have to do is we can't just draw them straight back because of this particular part of the ear here. So we've got to negotiate two kind of obstacles on the way out of an ear canal, let alone what's in the ear. We've got the tragus here, which is this little sort of bit of skin that you can push back, and you've got the back of the concha here, so the bowl of the ear. So as you're drawing these plugs out, what I'm effectively doing is drawing them at an angle to bring them around the tragus and then drawing it back around the opposite way to get it around this little bowl of the ear here. But it's coming away really, really well. So the Jobson horn is working fantastically well in this particular ear canal. So it's all, oops, there we are, crashed into the camera. It's all breaking away really, really nicely. And as we're drawing this down, it's drawing a lot of the wax further down as well. Now you can see we've got to this outer section. Now what I tend to do when we get to these last couple of pieces is I'll tend to switch up a little bit and I'll move from maybe the Jobson horn to suction. Now the reason I do that is because when you're sort of drawing the Jobson horn down, when it gets and sticks to the outer part of the ear canal, you have to kind of scoop really low in the canal to draw that out. So what you'll effectively do is scrape usually against the base of the canal wall, which the patient can sometimes feel a little bit uncomfortable. If you switch up at this point to use suction, as we're doing here, then you're not scraping anything along the canal wall, you're just pulling. But this is what it looked like before, so you can see quite thick, chunky bits of wax, and this is what the eardrum looks like afterwards. So lovely and clear there. Very similar on this side. We just hit a little patch of olive oil, which is what that grey little splodge is you can see on the camera there. That was adhering to the little cilia on the outer part of the ear. Now another thing I tend to do is if I've used a particular tool and it's worked really effectively on one ear canal, chances are the wax is usually the same consistency on the other side. So what I'll tend to do is usually go straight in with that tool just because obviously it worked effectively on the last ear. It's going to work quite well on this one. We're just going over the top of this block of wax here and drawing this down, and you can see how this is starting to crumble. Do you see what I mean about this? It looks quite solid first off, but as you start to break little pieces off, you can just see it just starting to crumble away there on the outside edge. So just scooping around Oh, nearly. There we go. Out that comes. So we're just going to go around this next section. See how the consistency looks very different, and the surface, it's gone this kind of very matte. Now, a lot of the time you'll get really shiny kind of surfaces to your wax, but this is a very matte surface, and that's quite indicative of this particular type and consistency of wax. So there we are, there's the eardrum there. So this is what it looked like beforehand. You can see really chock-a-block on that one. Eardrum looking about, look at that. That is 3 inches worth of wax, 8 centimeters between both ears there. And there's, you know, some pretty sizable pieces. You can see there was also some bits I couldn't quite scrape off the paper to put into that, that group there. But that was a lot of wax come out of those 2 ear canals. The patient couldn't quite believe just how much had actually come out. So this, I think this is the last patient in the compilation here, guys. Well, this one's a bit of an unusual one. We've got everything in here. We've got skin, we've got hair, we've got wax. Now the reason we can tell it's skin is if we start to pull this section down, you'll see the section just above flexing a little bit, and that's got a really classic kind of skin look about it. It's got this kind of, it's slightly translucent, it's got these kind of striations in there, little bits of hair in there as well. So all sorts going on this side, and you can see it's fighting. It is really fighting with the suction here. Now I'm getting a good grip, but as I'm trying to pull this out, the skin attached further in is really holding this tight. So we're going to go in now with a Jobson horn. There we go. Just push that bit of skin down at the top. Let's see if we can get behind that little flap of skin. Oh, it looks quite tight back there. Can we, just about, I'm just going to push this down. You can see as I'm trying to fold the wax down to be able to create more of a gap at the top, rather than it coming away from the canal wall, it's actually just flopping and bending down like this, which means it's kind of still attached up there. So I'm just working my way slowly down. There we go. We've got a little bit of movement there. The Jobson horn at the moment is just sliding off the surface. So skin's nemesis is always the crocodile forceps here. So we're just going to get a good grip and lots of wiggling going on. So you can see a real kind of wiggling motion having to happen here. So what I'm doing is readjusting the skin and also readjusting where the crocodile forceps clamps onto it. So at the moment we're just kind of giving everything a little bit of a wiggle. Look at the hair in that. You can see the skin, the hair, the wax, it's all mixed together in there in one big blob. So I'm just getting a good grip on this next section. A little bit more of a wiggle here. Let's see. Oh, not quite. I'm just going to hold on, just going to readjust the grip. You can see just how dense those cilia are there. You know, it's really thick. I watched the film called Dune the other day, and you got these sandworms in there, and the inside of the mouths of the sandworms looks like this, with all these little hairs all kind of coming in. It just looks exactly like that as you look into it. You can see it coming away really well. So we're just going to grip on that outside edge, and there we are. Let's hold on to that piece of skin and give this a really gentle tug. There we go. Out that's come. So that's come away really nicely. There is a little bit I can see just stuck to that side piece of the canal there. So just going to hold on, give that a bit of a wiggle. Let's take a look behind that. Oh, you can see the actual skin there coming away. It's got that yellowish tinge to it. So, you know, when we see wet skin and things in the ear canal, it's this whiter color, but this drier, dead skin tends to have this sort of yellowish tinge, and that's when it's gone this little bit harder. So this is what it looked like before. This is what it looks like after. So you can see lovely and clear there. Very similar though on this side. So let's get a good old grip on this. Now, are we going to be able to clamp on that with the forceps? It looks a little bit too wide to me at the moment, so we're going to need to readjust this. So let's go in now and just move some of this wax around. There we are, just giving us a little bit of a scoop. Oh, not quite. You can see how it's holding itself together really nicely, and that's not unusual with skin. So let's see if we can get behind. Oh, there we go. There we go. So as we start to pull this down, the whole thing now is starting to unfold from the ear canal. It kind of almost opens up like this as you kind of just get a grip on it. So it's coming really well. I've got the forceps on the top here. I've actually gone in, rather than sort of clamping here, I've gone in on the top there to hold on to it a little bit further down, just as it comes out the ear canal. Just less chance of it tearing then. There we go. So out that's coming. There we go. We've got the front section. So we've completely unfolded it from the canal, but that skin's really still holding on to it. Let's drop a little bit further back now with the forceps. closer to the entrance to the canal and give this a little bit more of a pull. There we go. So that's all the same plug there, one long piece of skin and wax all mixed together. The eardrum looking lovely and healthy. There's a little sneaky bit of wax stuck to one of the cilia there on the side of the canal wall. So we're just going to grab that bit. There we go, out that comes. So that looks a lot better now. There's the eardrum. So this is what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like after. So you can see a massive difference there. Really big old chunky bits of wax in there and skin, lots and lots all mixed together. So quite tough old stuff, that one. So 6 centimeters, what are we there? 2 inches if we squish that bit up to the next bit. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed that video as much as I did voicing it over. Don't forget, Thursday is the big one. It's episode 600, over an hour's worth of earwax removals. If you are watching this on the Instagram, I'm afraid you only get about 50 minutes because it won't let me put the hour on. So as always guys, take care of yourselves and take care of one another, and I'll see you again real soon. Bye everyone. Oh, and take care of your ears. Sorry, forgot that bit. Bye.